Hello everybody, how you doing? My name is Michael, and major change up equipment-wise because I got incredibly lucky. After I finished recording the other day, I decided to just pop over there real fast and see if I could, use a bonfire setting and maybe finally get the Hide Great Lance. And I actually got it, and I am so psyched about that because this is actually the first time I've ever gotten this weapon. I've never used it before, so I had to radically change my look and my build, and well, not my build, but my look definitely. So I've never used this weapon before, so it may be a little tricky, but I am going to be trying to use it. And I put on the rest of the Hide Knight stuff again. Even though I love the way I looked otherwise, I have to try this one out. I was unable to get the helmet, but, it's been almost a year. In fact, in a couple days it will be a year since I've got this game. This is the first time I've ever gotten this weapon. In some ways, having incredibly rare weapons like that can make the game enriching long after you first played it. But really, I would prefer just to be able to get it normally without having to brutally, farm it for 20 ascetics, 30 ascetics that I've done on combined other characters. Never got it. But I just got lucky in the third or fourth try here. And I'm actually going to go out and take care of that other rat boss in the Doors of Pharos, because he has been angering me. You'll notice that the name of the bonfire there is Ordeal's End. It's like, well, kinda. If I hope I can take this guy out. I hope I have a good enough bow, because I actually had to reduce my dexterity by a little bit to do this. But we'll see if I can one-shot these things now. I don't know if I'm going to be able to, but I'm going to make an attempt. Because after the toxic rats are gone, it's kind of child's play to defeat this, but until then, it's impossible. There's that Dark Souls dichotomy. It's either, it has to be hard, not if you do this, impossible, if you do that, unbelievably easy. Okay, we can one-shot them, so I'm not necessarily saying I'm going to live, but we can do this. This is a possibility. I don't know if this is the best weapon for it. I'm also a little unfamiliar with lances, so there's that. Just to keep that in mind over this next episode, because it's not like I never used them or anything. It's just that I haven't used them in a little while compared to, say, swords and clubs that I've been using a lot. Whoa, rolled way too early there. Way too early. This is very similar to the Sif fight. These attacks here are not that dangerous. Again, I could die to them, I don't know. But I'm just saying that this is not something you gotta really concern yourself with. It's pretty easy to dodge or even block with although I do have the best great shield in the game, so, but even to roll through it, it's pretty easy. And the fact that it's just a rip-off of the Sif fight is angering. If they wanted to make a rat this size, and there was a rat this size, by the way, in Dark Souls 1, they should have just done that. The real problem I'm going to face here is when he does his special attack, which I think he's going to do now, which is actually he vomits, and he pukes out this acid stuff. There it is, that's the stuff. And I've actually defeated him. It said I got him all the way down, he began to disappear, and the acid killed me afterwards, and it didn't count. Unless his soul actually pops back into my, comes up and it says, you've won the soul, then it doesn't count. I had to fight the boss again, and that was enraging. There's another rat guy to join the Covenant here, and I think that's it. So we are going to be heading back to Majula, and I'm going to try to take on Sir Alonne. You'll also notice the third dragon ring is broken. It actually has very low durability. I think that's just to try to mitigate the fact that it's very different from how it was originally, where it would break if you ever took it off. Now, I'm pretty comfortable with the Alonne fight, but I'm not comfortable using a lance with it. I've never done that. I'm used to swords axes, clubs. I've never used a thrusting weapon like this against it, so I hope we're going to see what we're going to see. Who knows if we're going to be able to do this or not. The fight against Sir Alonne is actually pretty fun. I do enjoy it. I think it is a pretty darn good fight. It's this is the first time that we ever actually encounter someone with samurai armor in Dark Souls 2. I've mentioned this before in other playthroughs, but it's really grating that we had to wait until the third game in this series to get samurai armor. It's really, really irritating. And if we go to the Smelter Throne bonfire, we can take a look at the Sir Alonne's armor, which is now glowing, because I believe that you need 2 requirements, and I'll annotate this in the video if I'm wrong. I believe you need to defeat the Rebel Rain and have the Ashen Mist Heart. And this is the first, I love the animation that you go into it. It looks exactly like your character. You know, it's just of your character. It's not just of a stock character. But anyway, as we're going in here, we're going into a memory area. And we haven't actually been inside one of these yet because I decided to wait and do the DLC, even though we could have gone to the memories immediately after we left Dragon Shrine. I'm going to summon in the 2 NPCs for this fight, because they're pretty useful. Although the boss's health will be a lot higher. Now, this is another thing, sort of like the Smelter Demon, just not as intense, where you are going to have to fight through a gauntlet of enemies that it is very difficult to run through, so you pretty much have to fight them before you actually get to the boss. And they're all Alonne Knights, very quick, tough guys, and you'll see up there the Salamander people. Salamander people? Whatever the heck they are. These are also much tougher versions of the Alonne Knights. They're not the, like the guys you fought in the Iron Keep. Don't like the Havels, do you? They also drop, besides the standard armor, they'll also drop a special white version of the Black Steel Katana, sort of a white steel katana. And, yeah, it's just sort of a reskin. It looks a little different. Why do they have to give these things so much health? And why do they have to be able to just spam those fireballs, those fire rocks that they shoot at you? Couldn't they? I mean, it's absolutely brutal. Jeez. I like that one of them is named Drifter Swordsman Adel, because that makes him sound like, to me, Ronin Adel. They probably did that intentionally, because this is the samurai boss. There are 2 more of these fricking salamander guys, so we're going to have to do this a lot. I'm not even going to try to go up there and fight them normally, because I want to keep all of my guys here at maximum health to last as long as they can during the fight. Now, we are going to actually be running through one of the sections here later on, but this first section I found very difficult to run through, so I'm not even going to try. Actually, we hit that guy? Yes, we can. I don't think there's anything especially useful here. After you kill Sir Alonne, you can actually get his katana, which is some sort of unique... It looks very interesting, this katana, and I think it is based on a real style of Japanese sword, whose name I'm not familiar with. I didn't really recognize it. It looked very big and more like a cavalry sword, I think, to me. That's the only place I can remember seeing it. Did somebody have that in Kagamusha, now that I think about it? I'm not sure about that, but it seemed very unique and very cool looking. It is also a weapon with absurdly low durability. In Dark Souls 1, the katana also had low durability, but it's not something you ever had to worry about. You just had to make sure to repair it when you got back. But I never encountered a case, even with the katanas, where the durability wore down while I was playing. Never once. Ugh, jeez. This breakable durability stuff reminds me a fair bit of Silent Hill Downpour, a game I was not terribly fond of. Not that it was a hideously bad game or anything, it was just, you know, it would have, if it was not Silent Hill, I think it would have been an average survival horror game. Not anything to write home to your parents about, but not really anything to bother complaining about either. But because they decided to go for that pedigree of, you know, associating it with Silent Hill, it became ripe for commentary. They give this guy the most ridiculous crap. That one has a freaking twin blade. Wonderful. There are a bunch of these Alonne Knight guys around. I sometimes miss some of them. I hope I don't miss one and have them run out at me. Ooh, god damn it. I do like the idea that the lance is hard to use, because it, you know, it should be sort of clumsy, as it is meant to be used on horseback. The spear isn't really looked at usually in literature as a knightly weapon, and you know, not in literature, but in the fantasy world, because we're so obsessed with swords. But really, it would have been more likely for a knight to be using a sword during a spear rather during a considerable amount of history. It would have been completely normal. It's not like he has to have a sword. Well, it's interesting that that didn't seem to do any kind of non-physical damage. And maybe just that it looks like it's covered in lightning. You can go, if you want to, that guy's firing. I'm going to move back a little bit. I don't want my friends to run up there. If you want to take out these salamander guys with melee, you can run around behind them. You can run up there and hit them from behind. And they're usually pretty easy to do that, but there are Alonne Knights in there, so you gotta worry about that. There was kind of a myth about this character when the DLC first came out about 6 months ago, that if you bowed to him, you would have a unique death animation. And that isn't actually true, or if you bowed to him, he would bow back to you, because he is a noble samurai, but that isn't really true. You can get a unique death animation, though. I believe if you fight him and not take any damage whatsoever, I think those are the conditions. You literally have to take 0 damage, and you will get a unique death animation. Now, the next area that we're going to be running through, there are Alonne Knights with great bows. There are regular Alonne Knights. I usually take a hit along the way. Fortunately, this boss allows us sort of a grace period when we get in there, and it's a little bit, it's kind of easy to flask a bit when you first get in there. Whoa, there is another one. Okay, completely missed this guy. I don't think we're doing very good damage compared to our previous weapon. And this is also like the smelter boss room. I mean, not boss room, but the area leading to the fight. You have to kind of very carefully, you have to jump down, and not carefully, you have to jump down in places and can't get back to the top. Very similar for Dark Souls 2. It's what we've been used to. I don't know why they're so obsessed with making sure you can't get back to the, oh, Lord. Is this just a reference to DS1? Because if it is, it's not a very good one. Hopefully our bros will be able to make it here in time and we won't get attacked by those dudes back here. Good. He's very, very fast, by the way. When you see that coming for you, you don't really have any time. Even though we're giving him a lot more health, you can see we've barely taken any health at all away from him. I think it's actually useful to bring in those other guys, because the losing aggro with this guy is very, very useful. Tragically, nowhere in the Dark Souls world can we actually get a samurai mask. You know, like one of the samurai helmets with like the leering face mask on it. I really want that. Maybe in Japan it's just like old hat and they don't want to do it. They don't care about it. But in the West, I really want to pretend to be a samurai. Damn, you got staggered like a bitch. Whoa. That weapon is called the Bewitched Alonne sword, I believe, and he can roller skate across a hell of a lot of this room. So you have to be very careful. Still got hit there. That makes me mad. I got very lucky there. I had no idea how I did not get hit there. And it is good that they put that little extra thing in there that, you know, if you go the extra mile and make sure not to get injured once, he does that little unique death animation. I don't know how anybody got that, because this is a fairly confusing fight, and somebody knew about it early on. I don't know how. Ooh, my bros are not doing so good. I'd hope they'd last a little bit longer before this got here. This is another guy like Raim or Artorias, where he's moving very fast and it seems very dangerous, but if you do this enough times, you know, you go in here like a dozen times, you'll figure out his moveset. You'll learn it. It just takes, you just have to work at it. Although it is not easy to work on that original part where you have to go through, you know, piles of guys. And just running through. I mean, you can only get so good at doing that repetitious nonsense enough before you just get tired of it. I think that jump attack, it's safe to assume we should not attempt to block. Havel's shield is a great... Oh, see, I'm almost certain I had the shield up there while trying to block, and it just did not work. Really worried about my durability. Oh, yeah. The durability on this weapon is terrible. Ooh. Whoa. Got us both. Hope the durability on this weapon is not absurdly low. Or something like that. That would annoy me greatly. I did not want to risk getting hit by that magical looking thing. His weapon, by the way, has one of the coolest attacks in all of the Souls games. Because you buff, or rather, not an attack, but you buff the weapon. And you buff it by jamming the sword into your chest like you're committing harakiri. And it gets that magic, you know, that magic glowing stuff around it. It's a pity the sword is so fricking easy to break, or else it would be amazing. But in New Game Plus, I mean, you can carry around piles and piles of the repair powder. So, you know, looks like he's trying to finish off that guy so I can fight alone. Yes! Take that, Sir Alonne. Although you are a knight, and I shall bow to thee. And this is absolutely gorgeous up here. Just take a look at this. Yeah. What is that sea of blackness down there? It's not the abyss, it's just the rocks out there. That's why I thought it was just the abyss out there, but no. And it's got this wonderful sky with this kind of... It's not just fog, it's smoke almost going across it. And if we head over here, we can get the final smelter wedge that we need to get Nadalia. Now I'm going to go back into the area we just came through and see if we can find anything there. I doubt it, but I'm going to go take a look. I mean, I don't think, when I say find anything, I mean find anything useful. Oh crap, we can't... Ugh. That annoys me. This is another little problem with this game. All of the memory areas in the game, you're not allowed to stay in them for very long. And this one, I think, unlike the others, you could actually stay in here forever before you beat the boss. It's not going to force you to, it's not just going to do all this, but then give you a time limit on top of it. Even the Dark Souls 2 guys might think that's a little brutal. But, in fact, I'm actually going to put, no, that on. I think there are some of those weird, like, pointless upgraded weapons, like a I don't know, a pike +7 or something weird like that. There's actually an area below this too. There must be more of those. Yeah, there are more of those guys, the salamander dudes. Where is? Yeah, there are more of them. I'm thinking no to anything useful here. Probably not. I'll go back and take a look at that later if I get kicked out of the memory. Huh. Yep. Dat thrust. Dat thrust. And that swipe at the end of it. Ooh, and it let me do it in this tiny corridor. I like that. Whoa, whoa, what was that? Don't know what hit me there. Maybe this guy? Could he have hit from all the way over there? It's weird that the regular ones, not the captain ones, have the great bows. When you come in here in New Game Plus, though, there are multiple ones of those great bow guys standing here, so it's that much harder to make it through here. I don't think I'm seeing anything of use. I really doubt there is. Oh, hello, sir. I'd like you to introduce you to the lance. Yeah, this looks like pretty much nothing. So, you just need to touch the throne to get out, by the way. Maybe. I don't mind getting a few extra souls here, because I want to, now that I know how crummy the durability is on this thing, I kind of want to buy the bunch of repair powder, which I believe we can get from Chancellor Welliger. Not so tough without your fire, huh? Yeah. Yeah, it must have been the guy with the great bow that hit me. Well, this is pretty much it, I guess, so I'm going to feather on out of here. That doesn't have quite the ring to it, then I'm going to bone on out of here. That sounds a lot cooler. And there are a few things that we need to purchase before we conclude this episode because of our two victories. But first, let's go back to Majula and get something cool. Because now that we've beaten the two rat bosses, the cat woman in Majula is going to be very thankful to us, which is really, really neat. I did enjoy that fight quite a bit, but I'm getting more and more angered and worried about the fact that the Hide Knight Great Lance just has shit for durability. I mean, I didn't use it hardly at all, and it was already getting down for after, like, what, a minute or two of gameplay? There we go, the flying feline boots. And I will show this to you. Right here. They are exceptionally silly, which makes me like them. They are this. Yeah, they make you look like you have kitty cat legs of a tabby cat. Look at that. Look at that. And these greatly reduce your falling damage. In fact, I'm going to see if I can live just jumping down with this. I may die, though, but let's see. Yes, I can. So it's just as good as the cat ring, and it actually stacks with the cat ring. So you can have multiple kinds of falling damage reducing equipment. That was rather awkward, that statement, falling damage reducing equipment. And I do want to go buy the complete Alonne Knight set, because it is amazingly cool, and I wore the hell out of this stuff when I first got it. I was actually very happy with the amount of damage reduction I was getting off of the fully upgraded Hide Knight chainmail and leggings. I think I also have the gloves on too. I was unable to get the square Knight Solaire helmet though, and I thought, you know what, I was given something. I was given the Great Lance, which a year and I never got, so I'm happy. I think that might actually be the last item. Well, no, not the last item. I don't think I ever actually got. I don't remember if I ever got the sea bow from the Varangians. Not that that means a whole lot, but well, be nice to get it, I guess. Those are pansies compared to the ones in the other place. Ah, that's a good lance. The lance, I believe, this lance does have a B scaling with strength, but that's kind of crap compared to the S scaling, 2 levels higher that I was getting with the Drakekeeper's Ultra Greatsword. And I feel like I was rewarded with this great lance because I spent God knows how many hours farming for the Black Knight Ultra Greatsword and the other one, the Red Lion Warrior Cape, where I literally wore, the entire Shaded Woods empty. It was completely frickin' empty. And, I thought that I feel like I kind of earned getting this stuff. Alonne's armor is amazing looking, although again, I'm not crazy about that hat. I don't even, I guess I'll get it anyway, just in case. But I've probably mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again. In Dark Souls 1, if you wanted to use a hard soul item, you had to use them one at a time, and they were done slower than the ones here are. It could take forever to get them. It was agony. So that is one thing that is great, although you still can't give Covenant items in a big jump. I don't understand why you would ever turn in a Covenant item, turn in just 1 or 2 Covenant items. You would go and turn all of them in once you have the requisite number you need. You would wait until you have the 10 or the 20, and then you would go and turn them in. It doesn't make any sense to do something other than that. Where is Broom? Is this? I think... Trying to remember which one is quickest. I think this one is faster for where we want to go. I think. Yeah. Because there is that one pesky Nadalia statue that we haven't gone to, and then we will be essentially done with Broom Tower and this DLC. Now, I know with both of the DLCs we've been to already, I just completely ignored the troll area with the troll boss, and you know what? Good. It actually is, it gets even harder later on. It gets more difficult in the later troll areas in the Ivory Crown. It's just freaking agony. And we're just going to do what we did before. I think this is where the remaining statue of Nadalia. I don't know if that statue is the correct term. That may not be right. There we go. Come on, fall down there. And there we go. This is a fun little area, I guess, with these little guys here. It's too bad that the actual level design is such crap. Come on. On my mage character, this was a lot easier, because I think your base physical damage that you do with a punch is affected by your strength. So the mage character at like 15 strength. He was doing almost nothing. This is going to be a lot of fun. Again, I don't think we can get much with Nadalia's soul, but yes! Ha 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 ha. Lord, there we go. I wouldn't bother farming that thing that they have. I don't even know what I guess you could call it a mace or a club, but doesn't quite look like that to me. Is the door closed? It shouldn't be closed. It should still be open. There's a difference between giving you the option to cheese enemies and essentially forcing you by designing the level so poorly that you kind of have to do that. And I can barely fight one of those guys on their own. You know, one of those giant smelter-sized guys on my own. On their own, much less fight them with multiple people in the room trying to kill me at a time. I guess if the door remains open, I can try to come the other way from the foyer, but that's another agonizing number of people to fight. Oh, come on! Don't go into the fucking corner like that. Jesus. I'm gonna try to lure them over here. Hey, where did the big guy go? Oh, you little prick. He's hitting me with arrows. Jesus Christ. Oh, the big guy's hiding in the corner, you little bitch. Think you're a big man? Oh, come on, just let me kill him. Oh, good Lord. Come on, come on, come on. I can feel the big guy breathing down my neck there. And they also, I mean, look at this. There are multiple guys up there. There are a number of these idiots up here. I forget how, I think you can get into that room where he is, but I don't remember how to do it. And there's guys throwing things down at you. I mean, this is not clever level design. This is shit level design. This one also does the pyromancies, I think, as an attack. The big guy seems to have wandered away. Yeah, he just wandered outside the door. That's kind of peculiar. Ah, okay. I think we did get the official soul now. Where are you? Yep. So, I think that's pretty much it for this episode. Sir Alonne gives a lot less trouble than the Rebel Reign did. I don't think we're going to be going back to this area again, this DLC, because I think we've pretty much exhausted everything that we can get out of it. Next up, I'm not sure where we'll be going. We might want to continue on to through the regular path of the game and go to the memories area next. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's where we're going to go, because I do want to talk to Benhart of Ugol. Also, I forgot to mention in another episode where we did the Throne Watcher and Defender that if you wait until you go into the memories area that we're about to go into before fighting the Throne Watcher and Defender, and you'll have to fight the Throne Watcher and Defender and then Nashandra immediately afterwards, the final boss. So if you want to have an extra special challenge for yourself, that's pretty cool, but it can be pretty surprising and weird if you are not expecting that. But until then, I'm happy I have my Great Lance, and I'm going to praise the sun. Yay!